Hey, welcome to The Explainer. You know, today we're going to talk about something really powerful, a principle for a life that's, well, truly transformed. It's a mindset that flips everything we think we know about success and power right on its head. And it all boils down to one single massive idea.
Now listen, this isn't just some nice, gentle suggestion. Not at all. Think of it as a direct invitation to totally change your mindset. We're talking about a complete rewiring of how we think, right down to the core. And it's all based on the ultimate example of a life lived for other people.
So, to really get this, to really wrap our heads around this mindset, we've got to look at the blueprint, the model for it. And we're not talking about just a simple act of kindness here. No, this model is rooted in the single most profound act of self-sacrifice you can possibly imagine.
Okay, to get the sheer scale of this, we have to understand the starting point, right? So when we say the form of God, what does that even mean? It means the very essence of what makes God, well, God. It means having all of his qualities, all of his rights, total power, infinite greatness, a level of blessedness we can't even approach. I mean, this is the absolute pinnacle of existence, period.
So, the model for this whole new way of thinking? It's found in this incredible act of humility. And it's a journey. A journey that covers the greatest distance you can possibly imagine, from the absolute highest point of glory all the way down to the lowest depths of service. And this is where you really see the stark contrast. The one who had the very form of God, all that power, all that glory, willingly took on the form of a servant. Now get this, it wasn't a change in his essence, but an addition of a totally different nature. It's a move from divine equality to human likeness, from infinite power to humble obedience. Just think about that. And, this wasn't a one-and-done thing. Not at all. It was a deliberate path, a path of descent. Every single step went from a higher position to a lower one. He took the form of a servant, came in the likeness of men, humbled himself even more, and then became obedient all the way to death. And we're not talking about just any death, but the most humiliating, shameful death imaginable, the death of the cross.
So you have to ask, right? What could possibly motivate an act like that? What was the engine, the driving force behind this willing journey from absolute glory down into profound suffering?
And this is the key, the absolutely crucial point. There was no outside force making this happen. He wasn't pushed. There was nothing for him to gain that he didn't already have, and there was absolutely nothing he could lose. This was an act of pure, 100% free will.
You know that phrase, he made no account of himself? It just perfectly captures the motivation. The driving force here wasn't some sense of duty or obligation. It was a spirit of pure, unselfish, self-sacrificing love. It was a conscious choice to put the needs of others so far above his own that his divine status wasn't even a factor. It just didn't get in the way.
So what this divine example does is it throws down a direct, powerful challenge to the way we usually think about life. The common ideal of how to live, how to succeed in the world. This just turns it on its head.
And really, we're all faced with a choice between two completely different ways of living. On one hand, you've got the world's ideal, which is so often about arrogance, pushing yourself forward, winning, conquest. But the divine ideal, it's the polar opposite. It's a life defined by humility, by forgetting yourself, by serving others, by self-sacrifice. So when you boil it all down, the divine ideal is a life of service. It's asking us to actively forget ourselves and look out for the good of other people, not just our own ambition. It really means putting the well-being of our community, our neighbors, the people we love, way ahead of our own personal gain.
But here's where it gets really interesting. This path of self-sacrifice, it's not what you might think. There's this deep paradox at the very heart of it, a surprising result that just flips our worldly expectations completely upside down.
And this is such a critical distinction to make. Self-sacrifice is about destroying selfishness, not destroying yourself. See the difference? It's not about erasing who you are. It's about freeing yourself from the prison of being self-centered.
It's so important we don't mix this up with self-denial just for the sake of it. That kind of thing focuses inward, and it can just lead to isolation and pride. No, we're talking about self-sacrifice for others. It's an outward-focused path, and that's what leads to connection, to empathy, to this incredible, rich personal development. It doesn't shrink your soul, it makes it bigger.
And that's the great paradox we've been talking about. The path of sacrificing for others is the true path to becoming your best self. By giving ourselves away for other people, we don't shrink, we don't become less, we actually become more fully who we are always meant to be. This path of self-sacrifice, is at the end of the day the path to true glory.
So, all of this leaves us with the ultimate question, doesn't it? It's a challenge that cuts right to the heart of how we decide to live our lives. To really find your life, in all its fullness, its richness, its purpose, are you willing to lose it in service to others?